So the name of this man is Robert Mercer. Who is he?
Robert Mercer is a computer programmer by training, and he runs Renaissance Technologies, which is one of the most successful and secretive hedge funds in the country.
When you say secretive, what do you mean by that?
Well, Renaissance makes its money by using powerful computers to spot patterns in markets that normal traders, human beings, couldn't see. And the strategies it uses are a closely guarded secret of the firm.
Okay, so how is he active politically? Tell me, what are his donations? What's his profile here?
Sure. So Robert Mercer, since 2010, has given more than $32 million to conservative causes. Things like Club for Growth and other organizations that are trying to kind of push Republicans toward ideological purity.
Okay, but what are his exact issues that he's most focused on?
Sure. So he's a conservative. A couple of issues that are particularly interesting to him that we report about in the story is he's a supporter of the gold standard. In fact, he funded a conference last summer to kind of push for the gold standard around the same time that the Federal Reserve was meeting in Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
Okay, so do we know if Ted Cruz is aligned with his policy stances?
Well, we don't know how much Cruz is influenced by his biggest donor,
okay,
but we do know that Cruz has kind of given some impetus to one of Mercer's pet issues. So in two different Republican debates last fall, Cruz spoke positively about the gold standard and called for a return to the gold standard.
Okay, what was the other issue? That you said there were two pet issues.
Another one is Mr. Mercer's critical of something called fractional reserve banking. Basically, the idea that banks can lend out money from depositors to make loans.
Okay, so how much exactly, break down, how much has he given to Ted Cruz's campaign? What does that look like?
Sure, so Mercer has given $11 million to a pro-Cruz super PAC, not to the campaign itself, that would be illegal,
okay,
but you can give unlimited amounts to super PACs. That's the most that any individual has donated to any candidate running for president.
And do we know why he likes Ted Cruz?
Well, they line up on a lot of issues. Obviously, Cruz is running as kind of trying to run as the most conservative guy in the race. Mercer's very conservative. And also on things like not just the gold standard, but climate skepticism and other issues that may not be lined up with everyone in the Republican Party. Cruz tracks pretty well.
And Mercer, what's his success rate? I mean, who else has he backed, and have they been successful in their races?
Well, Mercer seems to have kind of a taste for the long shot. In my story, I write about a guy running for Congress in Oregon who's run 3 times in a row, never won. But Mercer is a big believer in this guy's kind of medical research that he's doing, and has made 6-figure contributions to super PACs to support this guy every time.
And do we know why, since he's so secretive business-wise, why he, I mean, and you know, I'm not saying he's not secretive politically, but clearly, you know, you've uncovered him. Why is he so active politically?
I can't read his mind, but from talking to, we talked to about 24 people who've worked with him or worked on his projects. I think he feels very strongly about the future of the country. He's concerned about it, and he thinks that conservative leadership would improve it. Like
the Koch brothers, then, right? I mean, do people compare him to the Koch brothers?
Yeah, I mean, the Koch brothers have been doing this for a lot longer than Mercer.
Right.
But you could draw a parallel in that they're both trying to push the party in a more conservative direction.